Now, New York Congresswoman-elect Nicole Malliotakis. She represents New York's 11th congressional district, which includes Staten Island. Great to see you, Congresswoman.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
So, we can talk about Governor Cuomo. He's finally, I guess, seeing the light here. But it must have been a visceral, response for you to hear somebody like Cuomo who said, no, you need to stay home. You've seen Max Tavern there on Staten Island being targeted for just trying to keep their doors open here. So what was it like for you to hear Cuomo make this 180?
You know what? He's finally seeing the light that we can't continue to shut down our economy and destroy people's livelihoods. That is not the answer. It is not the solution. I've always said that we need to have a balanced approach. We need to be smart. We need to be safe. We need to make sure that public health is paramount. But there was a way to do this in a balanced approach, which I have been advocating for. And it seems that right now the governor is willing to do the same. And yes, part of that comes with ensuring that we vaccinate as many people as possible. I'm happy that he has loosened restrictions because New York City was attempting to vaccinate our NYPD and our teachers and our elderly. And unfortunately, there were restrictions in place that prevented them from doing that. In fact, they had to throw out thousands of doses of the vaccine because the governor had put such restrictions on our city. So it seems he's both addressing the vaccination issue as well as looking to reopen this economy. And I hope that comes soon because I have so many restaurants in my district and across the city of New York that have been shut down since mid-December. And they have to be reopened. And as a matter of fact, the numbers have shown that since they've been closed, the numbers have not come down. In fact, they've gone up even more in terms of positive cases, simply because people are now gathering in their homes instead of going to a restaurant where there are precautions, where there are safety measures put in place and sanitary protocols. So we're actually pushing people to go where 74% of the spread is actually occurring, because it was not happening in the restaurants. That was at 1.43% infection rate.
Right. In order for them to know that, they would actually have to follow the science instead of just blaming President Trump. And, I'm curious somewhat about the timing of this announcement from Governor Cuomo. He has less than 1 week to blame the president of the United States. He obviously can't do that when Joe Biden is the president of the United States. Do you think the timing of the inauguration and, his inability to blame the president next week has anything to do with his reverse?
Well, yeah, their blame game is coming to an end with the end of the Trump presidency, and they're going to have to take responsibility for their own actions. But this is something that I and my colleagues have been pushing for quite some time. Reopen the economy, have a balanced approach. We must get people back to work. I also think he's realizing that the budget's due, and they're in a jam because they have an enormous deficit now that they have to deal with because people are no longer paying taxes that they would have paid, whether that be, payroll taxes or whether it be sales tax if you're a business, and you're driving a lot of the taxpayers out of New York. We've lost a lot of the tax base during these past few months because of the arbitrary restrictions, because of the way our governor and our mayor had locked down our economy. So I'm glad they are finally taking the advice that we've been giving them over the last few months, which is to reopen the economy. Let's get people back to work. Let's increase the vaccination. Let's accelerate the vaccination distribution. I'm happy to see 125 facilities opening up here in the city. The NYPD, which I had been pushing to finally to get their vaccinations, finally began yesterday. They're doing about 5,000 a day. That's critically important because they are part of the front line. And the fact that the governor had prevented them from getting the vaccinations in the first place, even after the mayor said he wanted to do it and NYPD wanted to do it, was really unconscionable. Yeah,
we talked about that with Dr. Lahita in the last hour. Now, House Democrats are moving forward with this impeachment process. Last time Democrats did this, they ignored the pandemic as it was beginning to make its way across the United States. How dangerous is it for Democrats in this situation to focus more on impeachment? So many of them promised voters that they would get these $2,000 checks out the door if Democrats controlled the Senate and the House. Seems like they're more concerned about this impeachment process.
Well, they're certainly trying to politicize any opportunity that they have. Look, this is an opportunity for us to come together now. The certification did pass. Joe Biden will be sworn in as the president. This is an opportunity for us to come together and work together. There are so many problems occurring right now in our nation, and we need to work together to do that. By impeaching the president, which I am very much opposed to, they are only going to further divide this nation. So they say they want to work together. They say they want to heal. They say that It's time to not politicize. Well, then let them show that, and let's move forward here as a nation to address those very issues that we've mentioned earlier in this broadcast. The need to overcome this pandemic together, vaccinate as many people who want the vaccination, and let's reopen this economy, restore the American jobs that were lost. And that's the way we're going to do it, not by a political impeachment stunt.
Yeah, we learned that last time. Doesn't really change anything. Don't think it's going to change anything this time, but we'll see what happens. Congresswoman, great to see you. Nicole Malliotakis.